So, because this is a back health class, passive rest pose might be the one that you want to just jump right into. But I mean, do that gently and lovingly, of course. The heels are under the knees, the feet hip width apart, or your knees tip in and your feet are a little wider. It's good to make sure you're not touching anything. That's distracting. It's the same thing for any pose you're in. When you're touching something, it brings your awareness there. We want to be everywhere with our awareness. Let's start by just saying hello to every part of the body in a friendly, kind way, a loving way. You can even add a thank you if you'd like from the top of the head, down the face, the back of the head, the neck. Thanking the shoulders, the arms. You can keep breathing comfortably here. Feeling the shoulder blades softening, the upper chest, the belly and the lower back. Saying thank you to the hips, those hip flexors that lift our legs, psoas, the hip crease, the buttocks, down both legs. Just bringing our awareness, the light of consciousness to our entire body, all the way to the toes. And then see if you're able to experience your entire body at once. As Eckhart Tolle describes it, as the aliveness. You can feel that your body doesn't end at your skin. There's an aliveness that goes beyond the physical body. And then coming into awareness of your breath. It's not uncommon for the breath to be higher in the chest. That is what happens with stress. The body, in particular, that psoas that goes through the hips, from the low back through the hips to the thighs, the inner thigh bone. With stress, that can tighten and that can end up affecting the diaphragm as well. So we end up not actually being able to take a deep breath because we are so tense. When we can't take a deep breath, we don't get that relaxation response. And our body doesn't function optimally because we're not getting enough oxygen and we're not getting rid of enough of the CO2, which is why we're breathing so fully. So in this position, your psoas can release. So if you do happen to have a very overtaxed, tight which can often be called weak, but it's really because it's working so hard that it's weak. Psoas muscle, this pose, this passive rest pose, can start to soften and release it. So check in again with your breath and see if you can just let your belly soften a little bit more and slowly bring the breath all the way into your belly. And slowly draw the belly gently toward the spine as you exhale. I was talking with a student recently who has been practicing yoga for many, many years and realized they were not breathing fully with their belly and their diaphragm. So that's why we go over this every single class. It takes a ton of consciousness and practice to fully utilize the entire torso to get all that oxygen in. So if you're ready from the belly breath, we're going to move into the 3-part breath. If not, just stay with the belly. Inhale, let the belly expand. Exhale, draw it in. Or 3-part breath. Inhale slowly through the nose, let the belly expand fully. Then move the breath, flowing it into the rib cage, feeling it expand out in all directions. Those lower ribs go out. And then keep going. You're still on that same inhale all the way to the upper chest so that the upper chest expands. The collarbone might even move up. You might even feel the breath all the way in your throat. Like you might even feel like you're choking on air. And then slowly squeeze it out. I prefer bottom to up. So draw the belly in first, empty it like a tube of toothpaste. Draw those ribs in and down, squeeze them like an accordion, soften the upper chest. And then again. So that's how we keep doing it. A lengthened inhale through the nose, a lengthened exhale through the nose. And some people prefer to exhale top down. It's just a different way. There's nothing wrong with it. Next 2 breaths, see if you can make them just a little longer than the last. And then relaxing your effort with the breath. Allow your awareness to rest either in the center of the chest or the space between the eyebrows. And come into, if you'd like, an intention for your practice. Something that you'd like to grow in your life. Maybe it's one word like peace, tranquility, kindness. Maybe it's a long sentence. I am connected to my breath and honoring my body's needs. Could be anything. Set that intention if you'd like, and we'll just visit it over and over throughout the practice. Or whenever you think of it, you can simply say it to yourself. And then from passive rest pose, let's take a nice long inhale. And then exhale, slowly draw your right knee into your chest. You can play around with the position, maybe bring it a little in, not too far in if you have a hip replacement, right? You don't want to cross the midline. Out to the side, maybe towards the armpit. When we do these gentle movements with our joints, we're actually lubricating them. So it doesn't take a lot to keep our joints healthy. We just need to move them. And then from here, once you found a comfortable place to hold your leg, if your knee doesn't like this, by the way, just grab behind your thigh and let your foot go higher if it needs to so that your knee is happy. Now we're going to keep this right thigh in as close as we can to the body. Keep your low back flat. And we're going to slowly stretch the left leg out without letting our pelvis tilt forward. So that means without arching your lower back. So slowly inhale and just start to take that leg out. You might have to stop if your back starts to arch and breathe, asking that left hip crease to soften. Maybe you'll get the leg fully extended, maybe not. It doesn't matter. While you're hanging on to your right leg, notice if your shoulders are rounding up. Are you tensing the shoulders and the trapezius? If you are, relax them. And if they won't relax, then maybe release your hands from your leg. Let's take 3 more breaths here, all the way down to your pelvic floor. If you want to get a little bit more of a stretch, you can push the left heel away from you if the leg is straight. Breathing all the way to the pelvic floor. Feel that expansion on the inhale, the gentle pulling in of the belly towards the spine on the exhale. Nice. Next, exhale, pull that belly in and slowly take that left foot back. Good. Take the right foot down to the mat. Open the feet a little wider on the mat and just take the knees side to side. Don't cross the midline if you have that hip replacement, but otherwise it's fine. Another excellent one for lubricating the hip joint. And then walk the feet back in, hip width apart. Take a big inhale, and on your exhale, hug that left knee into the chest. You might notice it's different than the other side. That's normal. Go side to side. Maybe sigh. If you find that your jaw is clenched and your teeth are touching, usually a sign there's tension that's not getting released from the body. So sighing, horse lips. Hug your knee to a comfortable position against your chest. You can grab behind the thigh if that's easier. You don't want any pinching in your hip. If you feel pinching, you're going to have to adjust. Don't bring the knee so close. And then on your next inhale breath, with your low back staying flat on the mat, your pelvis staying right where it is, slowly stretch the right leg out. When you feel your hips start to tilt forward, so you have to really pay attention, you're going to stop and breathe and ask the hip crease, the right in particular, to soften, the low back to soften. Because that psoas stores so much stress and trauma, this is a practice you can do on your own, and it could take 20 minutes to get that psoas to slowly soften and release. So going to the point that's right for us today, and if your leg is straight, you may want to push your right heel away from you gently, feeling your right leg lengthen and feeling a little bit more of a stretch in that right hip crease. where the thigh and the hips meet, and then 3 breaths. As you do this, are the shoulders relaxed? Make sure that they're soft and not crunching up. Beautiful. When you're ready, draw that low belly in, exhaling, dragging that right foot back, bringing that left foot down to the mat, bringing the heels comfortably close to the buttocks. If you have socks on, you may want to remove them for the grip. Arms alongside the body. This is a nice one to help stabilize our sacrum, but also to help release the shoulders. We'll start one arm at a time. Inhaling, tucking that tailbone, lifting up the hips and the right arm. Keep those thighs parallel. Exhaling from the top of the spine all the way down, lowering vertebrae by vertebrae. Hands and hips touch at the same time. Inhaling, left arm comes up, vertebrae by vertebrae with the hips. Try to keep that shoulder soft. Exhale, slowly lowering down. The body will do what it's capable of doing. We can't force it. And then check that your shoulders are broad, the back of your neck is long. Both arms, let's do a couple more. Inhaling, tuck the tailbone, lifting up vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms touch the hip floor behind you, maybe. Exhale, lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. 2 more, just like that. Nice and slow. Good. Try to keep your feet down, the toes down, and see how that changes where the stretch goes. That might be a tight psoas. And yeah, let's add a third one. Well done. And then when you're ready, let's draw the knees into the chest. Ah. Rocking out that back a little. One hand's on either knee. We're going to inhale out wide. Exhale, pull the belly in and draw the legs into the chest. 2 more. Go the other direction. Straightening the arms, drawing the knees out wide, hugging them back in. 2 more. They're away from each other and then they come back in. Last one. As you exhale, taking them back in, really pull that belly in and flatten the back. Good. Taking the feet back down. We're going to try for those leg lifts. Exhale, hug your right knee in, or just don't even reach for it. If your shoulders are really tight, don't worry about it. Inhale, stretch the heel up towards the ceiling, pushing your heel away from you. And now point, really crunching your toes. Push your heel away and point, crunching the toes while keeping the low back flat and the low belly hugging in. Good. So you're really drawing the pit of the abdomen, which is a few fingers below the belly button. You're drawing that in towards your spine and really energetically up the spine to feel that deep core. Activate your foot and inhale, slowly lower the leg toward the floor. Only go so far that your low back stays on the mat. Exhale, slowly come back up. It's fine to bend your knee and do this with a bent knee. You can press into your left foot for a little bit of support, but watch those shoulders. they can actually take over for your core if you're not careful. So really let them relax and really pull in that low belly. To help lift the chest so the shoulders can soften, you can press into your forearms a little bit. Good. Let's do 2 more. Really try to feel it in the core. I know the legs working a little, but really try to make the majority of the work come from that deep core. This is very valuable for every movement we make. Next, exhale, just draw the knee in and swing the ankle over the left thigh. Coming into a very valuable pose, figure 4. The right ankle where the knee and thigh meet, the toes come back towards the knee. This might be the position for you today. Breathing, noticing where you're feeling sensation and sending your breath there. If you need something a little deeper, you can place your left foot on a block or a cushion or interlace your fingers around the left thigh. So find the position that's right for you. If you'd like to keep moving with the breath, once you have your fingers interlaced around the thigh, if that pose is accessible for you, then you can inhale the left leg up, pushing the heel away. Exhale, pull that belly in and draw it back down. Otherwise, right hand might even press on the thigh gently. Keep feeling where this is happening in your body and sending your breath there. 3 more breaths. In your own time, you're going to press into your left foot. So bring your left foot back down if it's up. Move your hips 2 inches to the right and slowly come all the way onto your left side, letting your right foot land on the floor. The right arm can open out wide and the left hand can gently push on that right knee open or the below the knee on the thigh, pushing up to slowly open that right thigh away from you. Notice where you feel the stretch. It's going to be in your right shoulder for sure, but possibly in that left inner hip crease. Now, if your back is telling you this isn't safe for you, you can do an alternate twist by coming all the way onto your left side with your knees bent and then opening your right arm out wide. From our original twist, if you're pushing your right knee away from you, now on your next exhale breath, you may want to try drawing the knee down towards the floor and noticing the change that you're feeling this. Is it going more into your hip now? Send your breath there. These are big breaths. The circulation in the body needs these breaths to keep us healthy. It helps to improve our circulation, gets oxygenated blood where we need it. So even though we're doing a holding pose, we want to breathe in it. And then when you're ready, we're going to slowly come out of it. Now, you may find that it's easier to get the knees together first, bring the arm down first, draw that belly in, and then slowly come back up to protect your back. Move your hips back so that they're right under, they're even again. Rest in passive rest pose or stretch your legs out. Close the eyes. Scan your body, notice what you're feeling. Is there a difference between the left and right side? And remember your intention. On the next exhale breath, we're going to slowly bend the knees, passive rest pose, and hug that left knee into the chest. Inhale, take it up towards the ceiling. You don't need to hang on to it. Push your heel away and then point, scrunching those toes. So push the heel away and then point. Notice where you feel this. Low back stays flat. Are you still breathing? Nice. Now activate your foot in a comfortable position. And then slowly, with the pit of the abdomen drawing in, inhale, lower the leg halfway. Don't go it so far that the low back comes off the mat. We want it to stay on the mat. Exhale, slowly come back up. Watch for the shoulders popping up. Watch for the chin jutting up. You can press your forearms into the floor gently, or sorry, your elbows and upper arms into the floor gently to keep your chest gently lifted and hopefully the shoulders relaxed. You can bend your knee as you do this. It's about listening to your body, not about what it looks like. It's more important that you listen to what your body tells you. Let's do a couple more. Inhaling, exhaling, pull that belly in really firmly. And then when you feel like you've done enough, maybe sigh, horse lips, bring your left ankle across your right thigh, draw the toes back towards you. Left hand can gently open up the knee. Find your breath. The hips stay even. We're not trying to pull our pelvis in opposite directions. We're keeping them even. If you feel like you need a deeper stretch, maybe take the hands behind the right thigh or put the right foot on a block. And maybe if you're in this deep position with the hands interlaced, you may want to inhale, stretch the right heel up. Exhale, draw it back. A couple more breaths here. You're sending your breath to where you're feeling the intention, the sensation rather. The jaw is soft, the shoulders are not scrunched up. And if your right foot is off the floor, bring it back down, press into it. And everyone lift up the hips and move them over to the left 2 inches. So you're already starting to get onto your right hip. So you can skip any pose that's not right for your body. Slowly come all the way down onto your right side. You can even let your hand come with you, your left arm come with you. Your right arm is going to gently push up on that left thigh, right hand rather, to open it up. And the left arm is going to open out wide. Now, maybe closing the eyes, what do you feel? So the first variation is where we really open up the hip crease by pushing up on that inner thigh with the right hand and noticing what's happening. You might feel it in your neck, in your left shoulder, the front of the chest. Long breaths. Check that your jaw is still apart. Check that the eyes aren't squishing. And then when you feel ready, you can slowly on the exhale, take your hands to the outside of that left knee and gently draw it down if this is right for your body, right? Notice where you feel it if this side's different. And remember, if you've got compressed discs or things going on with your back and this twist feels like too much, you can come all the way on your right side, knees stacked, keep the knees stacked and open out. And the twist will not get much into your hips. It will be more of a opening for the chest, but your hips will stay safe. Three more breaths. How much more can you soften here? When you feel ready, slowly coming out. So take your time with your breath. Remember, you may want to stack the knees, draw that belly in, slowly come back. Even out your torso so your hips are in line with the shoulders, and then maybe stretch the legs out, palms up, close the eyes, wave the feet a little. Feeling the whole body at once. Noticing any changes. And remembering your intention. In your own time, we're going to slowly come up, but first, let the blood equalize by coming onto our side. Take a breath here, maybe 3. Relaxing completely, jaw softened. Then pressing your top hand into the mat, taking the top leg back, inhaling, pushing up very slowly. The more we do this, the better we get at it, coming to all fours with a blanket under the knees. Fingers spread wide, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Remember, for wrists, you've got gorilla fists as an option, fingers pointing in. You've even got blocks you can put under your forearms or a blanket under the heel of your hand so that your wrist is not at as extreme of an angle, right? Inhaling into cow, letting the back arch, drawing the shoulders gently back. Exhaling, pull that low belly in and round, coming into cat. Or as one of my teachers calls it, tiger. You're just doing a tiger. Inhale, arching, drawing the shoulders back. Exhale, pulling that low belly in and rounding. We're going to do this a little bit faster. So really stay with your breath. You want a full inhale and a full exhale, even though the pace is a little faster. Come to neutral. Draw your low belly in so that your back is flat. I could have a tea party on it. Inhale here, and then exhale, take your feet to the right and look towards your right, squeezing the right side of the body. Try to see your tailbone. Inhale, middle. Exhale, feet to the left, look towards your left, squeeze. You're stretching your muscles around the ribs, helping with your lung capacity. Inhale, middle. Exhale, squeeze. Okay, now we're going to do a breath retention for after we do this last one on the left. So make sure that's safe for you. We're going to inhale in the middle, hold as we squeeze. Feet to the right. Exhale, come back to the middle. Whew. What does that feel like? Okay, other side. Inhale, hold the breath, feet to the left, squeeze, shoulder to the left. Exhale, back to center. Whoa. Okay, let's take a break. Knees can go wide, big toes touching, sink back to the heels, child's pose. Remember, child's pose is not an easy pose, even though we do it a lot. A lot of hips and knees do not appreciate it. So do what works for you, either lying fully on your belly or a puppy dog variation where you draw your low belly in a bit and you make sure your low back is stretching out and not overarching. Find your breath. Beautiful. Remember your intention and simply say it to yourself. On your next inhale, we're going to slowly move with our breath, strengthening our body as we work towards a full downward dog. So inhale to all fours, shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, pull that belly in, tuck the toes, knees stay bent. And we're trying to see if we can hollow out the armpits and bring the biceps towards the back of the room. Inhale back to all fours. Exhale, sink back as much as your body's willing to let you. Two more. Inhale. All fours. Good breath. Exhale. Hips go high alongside the upper arms. Inhale. Pull that belly in firmly so that you use your core to do it. All fours. Exhale. Sink back. Good. Last one. We're going to stay in downward dog. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, lift up those hips. Ears alongside the upper arms. Make sure you've got weight at the base of your thumb and the base of your index finger. That will help protect your shoulders. Bend one knee, then the other, and just notice what you're feeling here. Woo. Good. And then when you're ready, you're going to look forward and slowly take your hands, your feet to your hands, or walk your hands to your feet. Bend the knees as deeply as you need to. If your belly is on your thighs and your back is perfectly flat, it's going to be safer for your back if you've got back issues, right? In that forward fold, if that's safe for you, you can play around with maybe grabbing opposite elbows, swinging one in front, then the other, exploring what you're feeling here. Horse lips. And when you feel complete with your forward fold, press into the feet, bend the knees, inhale, sweep the arms wide, reach up, look up. Exhale, arms come down alongside the body. Tadasana, what I used to call grocery store pose. I don't know, grocery stores just aren't the same anymore, but it still kind of work. So this is what you would do if you're waiting in line in a grocery store. Practice Tadasana. Feet are about hip width apart, toes. It doesn't matter if they're forward or slightly out. You just want to make sure that your knees track towards that second and third toe. So your toes are spread wide. Your calves might gently be drawing in, your knees are soft, the low belly is pulling in, the chest is lifting gently, and that will let the shoulders broaden. But when we lift the chest, we're not going for military stance where the whole lower ribs expand. We still want our lower ribs to come in. So that's quite a different action. Your lower ribs are drawing in, keeping the core engaged while your heart lifts. Then the palate comes back, which lets your shoulders do what they need to do. You never actually need to force your shoulders down. Never a good idea. That will create tension in your neck. So if you think you need to work on your posture, think lifting the heart, drawing my palate back. Don't think about the shoulders. They will go where they can safely go. And over time, they'll open if you do that action. And then close the eyes and let's just feel the breath moving in the body. What does it feel like to stand in Tadasana? On the next exhale, let your chin gently come to your chest. On the next inhale, lift the chin, maybe not all the way if you have issues with your neck. Exhale, bring the chin back down. Notice all the places you feel this while you keep your breath moving. So the breath envelops every movement. There's no movement without breath. Exhale, chin to the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, chin to the chest. Inhale, come to neutral. Exhale, turn towards the right, keeping the shoulders right where they are. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. One more round. Inhale back to center and then exhale. We're going to slowly take your right ear to your right shoulder. Let your left arm get heavy. Maybe walk the fingers out a few inches in the air. Breathe. Breathe down that left shoulder. If you need a little bit more intensity, just rest your right hand on your head without pulling. Just rest it there. Big breaths. Really breathe. When you're ready, inhaling slowly, releasing everything, coming back to neutral, pausing for a moment, noticing the difference between the sides of your necks, wiggling a little if you want. Heart lifts again, palate back, inhaling, exhaling, left ear to the left shoulder. Maybe walking the right fingertips out just a few inches till you feel that stretch down the right side of the neck. Breathe. Big breaths. If you need more, just resting the left hand on your head. Without leaning. I know there's a tendency to lean. Try to keep the heart lifted. Notice where you feel this in the right side of the neck. One more breath. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, releasing. Take your stance a little bit wider, soften the knees, and circle those shoulders. Inhaling back, exhaling forward. Good. Let's go the other direction. Big breath. So we inhale when they go back, exhale when they come forward. The bigger your breath, the more benefit you're going to have for your body. As long as it's a full breath, You're really aiding in detox, you're aiding in everything in the body functioning optimally because everything needs oxygen. Good. Let that go. Ha breath. Just a simple inhale as the shoulders come towards the ears and exhale with a ha. So a different ha breath. Inhale. Ha. Ha. One more. Ha. Nicely done. Woo. Okay. Let's stand at the top of the mat, hands on the hips. Slowly pour the weight onto the left foot and step your right foot back as far as you comfortably can, straight back. So you don't want your right foot behind the left. Take a peek. Make sure your feet are hip width apart. Your hips are pointing towards the front of the room. You're on the ball of your back foot if possible. If that's too hard for the balance, then you can step up a little and bring your heel down. Okay? So from here, let's release our hands towards the floor. Good. We're going to slowly straighten the front leg. Good. And then inhale, we're going to bend the front knee, bring our arms wide, and lift the heart. Good. Exhale, release. Maybe your back heel comes down, maybe not. Inhale, slowly bend the front knee, open the heart. Try to draw your tailbone down. Exhale, let the hands come down. One more time. Exhale, release. Nice. Take the hands to the hips, and you're going to bring your right heel in a little bit more. If your heel can be on the floor and your hips pointing forward, you're at the right distance. If not, you might have to step up slightly. So see what works for you. From here, lift the kneecap of your front leg or slightly bend it if there's a knee issue. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Inhale, lift the heart, gently draw those knuckles back and up. Exhale, draw that low belly in and slowly start to fold. So you might get to a certain point where you think, I cannot have my fingers interlaced. So take your hands to your hips at that point and keep lengthening your back until you feel a stretch up the back of the front leg, that hamstring. So you don't want it to be too intense. See if you can back off slightly and keep it a more subtle stretch. Ground the outside edge of your back heel and breathe. You can rest your hands on your low back or keep your hands up as high as they'll go interlaced and maybe take your head towards your knee. Use your breath to get there. Inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Keep that back heel down. Keep the weight in the front ball of the foot for balance. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. We're really getting strong here. On the next inhale, draw that low belly in, bend your front knee, press into your feet firmly, lift the heart, and then exhale, step forward. Whoo, shake it out. Horse lips, let that go. And then standing at the top of the mat, one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly, close the eyes. Feel your entire body at once and notice any differences between the sides. Long breaths. Even longer than you think. Bringing your hands to your hips, blinking the eyes open, remembering your intention, just saying it to yourself. Bending your right knee, so you're putting the weight on the right foot as you step the left foot back, nice and slow, straight back. Heel stays lifted, feet are hip width apart. Notice if you feel a stretch in that psoas, that inner thigh. Tailbone dropping down will help you with that stretch. Release your arms alongside the body. Soften those shoulders. Keep breathing. Slowly straighten the front leg, exhaling. Inhaling, arms go out like cactus arms as we bend the front knee and lift the upper chest. Exhale, bring them back down, straightening the front leg. Inhale, lift the upper chest, heel goes back. Exhale, come back up. One more time. Nicely done. So if your back heel doesn't want to go down, step it up a little bit. It's in at a little bit of an angle. Interlace the fingers behind the back. Front kneecap is lifted and straight or slightly bent. Inhale as we lift the heart, maybe bringing the hands up. Exhale, slowly fold. Keep those hips straight until you feel a stretch up the back of the front leg. If you need to, release your hands to the hips. Keep your hips in one line that way. Keep breathing, and then eventually your hands might rest on the low back, or you can keep them interlaced and going higher and higher if that works for you. Just keep moving with the breath. If you would like to go to your front knee, you're going to inhale to lengthen. Exhale, get a little closer. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, a little closer. You're still grounding through the back edge, the outside edge of your back heel. Let's take 3 more breaths. Make sure you're not in too intense of a place. You want to feel sensation up the back of that front leg, but nothing too strong. So back up a little if you need to. Keep breathing when you do it. Sometimes we just move without breathing, not good. Next, inhale, slowly bend the front knee, come all the way back up. The core is strong. You're pressing into those feet firmly, lifting up that heart. And then exhaling, stepping that left foot forward and shaking it out. Whew. That is tough work. Okay. Top of the mat again. One hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. Close the eyes and feel the breath. Lengthen the breath a little more. Blinking the eyes open, taking your hands to the low back, bend the knees, inhale, lifting the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Check in, maybe only halfway, or maybe a full forward fold. Everyone inhale up to a half forward fold and hold here. Hands can be on the shins. Shoulders are broadening, heart is lifting. The inner thighs are drawing in gently. The knees are tracking towards those second and third toes. And breathe. Get your back as long as you can. That's it, exactly. Back of the neck is long. And then on your next exhale, hands to the mat. Walk the feet back into your downward dog. Wave the hips a little side to side. If you need to lower to the knees, go for it. If you need more of a challenge, you can try lifting one leg, then the other. Just see where you're at today. Or you may want to just work on holding downward dog for 3 breaths, letting your heels sink towards the mat, letting your ears go alongside your arms. And then on your next exhale, after you've done your 3 breaths, if you've chosen, we're going to come into a plank. So feel free to go to your knees to do that plank. It might be more appropriate. From downward dog, we inhale, shifting the shoulders over the wrists, the heels towards the back of the room, the top of the head towards the front of the room, and the low belly really draws in. Holding here, maybe with the knees down, but keep pulling that low belly in for 3, 2, 1, and all the way down. That was exhausting. Well done. Really good core for the body. Stack your hands under your forehead. Wiggle here. Long breaths, feeling it all the way in your belly. Turning your head towards the right, left cheek on the mat, arms are alongside the body. We're going to keep our feet about hip width apart, the toes down. This one gets a little interesting, so feel free to keep your hands where they are as you do this rather than do the arm movements. On the next inhale, we're going to slowly lift the head and chest and arms. Everything comes up and the arms reach forward. Exhale, we draw the elbows back, lift the heart. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, open out wide and turn your head to the left, right cheek on the mat. Whoosh. Let's try that again, nice and slow. Feel free to leave your hands on the floor if you need to and just work on lengthening your back and your neck. Inhale, reach forward, look forward and down. Exhale, bend the elbows, lift the heart. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, open out wide, turn your head the other direction. Last one. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, bend those elbows, lift the heart even more. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, open out wide, look towards the left, right cheek on the mat. Sigh, wiggle. Whew. Quite an upper back opener and strengthener. Slow down your breathing. Bring your chin to the mat or your lips, depending on what your neck prefers. Palms down. Inhale, lift the right leg, locust leg lifts. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, lower down. Let's do 2 more rounds. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, left. Exhale down. You're still focusing on the buttocks moving, the low back engaging. This is what helps support our kidneys and our adrenals. These back bends are really good for fatigue. They're very energizing. Last one with the left leg. Whew. And then you can stack your hands under your forehead or just turn your head to the right with the left cheek on the mat. Feel your breath all the way to the belly and let that go. Putting everything together into a full locust for 3 to 5 breaths. See where you're at today. Bring your face so that you're facing the mat. The arms are alongside the body. Inhaling, lifting the head, the chest, the arms, the legs, lengthening and breathing here. Palms face each other, shoulders are broad. Every inhale, you're going to get a little higher. Every exhale, a little lower. We want the head and chest slightly higher than the feet. That compression in the low back, as long as it's comfortable, is very therapeutic. Next, exhale. Whew, stack the hands under the forehead, bend the knees. Side to side. Rest your forehead on the backs of the hands and open your knees as wide as you can with the feet up in the air. Bring the soles of the feet together. And to rest here, we're just going to work on opening our inner thighs or adductors so the soles of the feet stay together as we drop them toward the floor. Rest the forehead on the hands. The eyes stay soft, the jaw, and you're sending your breath where you're feeling the stretch. 3 more lengthened breaths here. When you feel complete, inhaling the feet back up, walking the knees in, exhaling, feet come down, pushing up to all fours, however you get there, and sinking into your resting pose. Feel that lengthened breath moving through your entire body. In your own time, inhaling to slowly come up to all fours, sweeping the legs around, reaching for a blanket or a cushion to sit on. We're sitting on the edge of the cushion. The knees are staying bent. A pretty safe forward fold for those of us with back issues. We want to make sure that the low back keeps an arch in it, a gentle arch, so that we don't get that rounding and putting unnecessary pressure on the vertebrae in the lower back. Hands can stay behind the knees. Inhale, lift the heart. You can stay here and or exhale slowly, bring your belly towards your thighs, maybe let your head go. Move with the breath 3 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Now, if you know forward folds are your jam, as the kids would say, you're welcome to straighten your legs. Exhale, fold. Last one, we're going to hold for 3 breaths. So your back is perfectly straight here. You're still getting a gentle stretch, but it's not putting unnecessary pressure on any vertebrae. If you don't have back issues, you're welcome to round and let your head go if that feels safe. Long breaths. Where do you feel this? Inhaling to slowly come back up, taking the soles of the feet together. Feet can be about a foot from the torso, or really any way that's comfortable for you. It might be even further. Watch for that rolling back. If you feel like your pelvis is starting to go behind you, get higher. You want to feel like your pelvis is tilting forward. That will protect your back when we fold, and also when you're just sitting upright. So, starting sitting upright, you can put your hands, your arms in front of the legs, lift the heart, breathe. Any discomfort in the knees or any pain, try a cushion under your thighs or a block. And if that doesn't work, skip the pose. No pain. Feel the hip creases softening as you use your breath to relax here. If you would like to fold, you're welcome to fold slowly, inhaling to lengthen, exhaling to fold. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, exhaling, folding a little further, and go there incrementally all the way. Otherwise, staying upright is very good for your back and for helping to release those tight muscles that can pull on the hips and get the spine out of alignment. 3 more breaths. How much more can you soften? Jaw, eyes, shoulders, in your own time, inhaling to coming upright, exhaling to bring the knees together. Woo. Take the hands behind you, open the feet wider, listen to your hips. If you have a hip replacement, this may not be appropriate, and just take your knees side to side. Horse lips, little sigh. It's all the ways we can get tension out of our body, and we want to. When it gets stuck in there, it wreaks havoc. And then slowly, let's bring our feet back in, scooch off that blanket, coming all the way down into your passive rest pose. Before you get to the floor, you might want to check if you have a block or a cushion, something that you can use for our restorative poses. Feel your breath all the way to your belly. You might even feel the sensations of that practice moving through your entire body. You can say your intention to yourself again. Reaching for a block or a cushion, pressing into the feet, lifting up the hips, and placing it at the sacrum. So it's not your back, it's really just the hips, just above the buttocks, that flat bone. Your arms, to help release those shoulders, can come like cactus arms. But remember, if your hands aren't touching the floor, then you want to open out until the whole arm will be on the floor. It might even be you have to go even lower than that. That will ensure that your shoulder feels safe and can relax. So there's no reason to force it to be in a position that it doesn't want to be in. It'll just create more tension. Soften the belly, closing the eyes. Some people feel safe stretching their legs out as long as your pelvis does not tilt forward. That should be okay to do for your body, but feel it out one leg at a time if you want to try it. Feel your hips softening, the hip joints softening as they sink onto the cushion or block. The chin is gently resting towards the upper chest to lengthen the back of the neck. The legs are relaxed. 3 more breaths. On your next exhale, arms can come down alongside the body, knees can draw in. Bring them in as close as you can so that when you inhale up into your supported shoulder stand, it feels safe. This is safe if you're not struggling with high blood pressure. If you are, it might be best to not stay too long. If circulation has been an issue, fatigue, experiment with taking your legs at a 45-degree angle. So that means your low belly really has to hug in, and a vigorous breath with your rib cage and upper chest. Taking the legs back up straight. You may want to open them out wide to get a long adductor stretch, drawing the toes back towards you. You can even reach for the legs. Taking the legs back together, final hamstring stretch, just walking your hands up the legs as you draw them towards your face. Breathe. Next, exhale, knees come in, with a sigh, maybe rock out the back gently, horse lips. Feet come down to the mat, one at a time is fine. Inhale, lift up the hips, remove the block. Draw your low belly in and lower vertebrae by vertebrae. Try to get your low back as long as possible. Let the soles of the feet come together and the knees open wide, keeping your low back as long as you can. Hands can rest on the belly, shoulders are soft, chin slightly tucked. Inhaling here. Exhaling, slowly move your feet. Slowly press into your feet. Draw that low belly in, squeeze the inner thighs. So you're basically engaging your entire lower body, drawing the low belly in towards the spine. Inhale while you relax and take your knees up 2 inches. So try to keep your back long and relax. Now pause and exhale as you squeeze everything. Feet, inner thighs, low belly really draws in, pit of the abdomen towards the spine. Inhale up 2 more inches. Softening, exhale, squeeze. Inhale 2 more inches. Exhale, squeeze. Eventually, your feet will start to flip. Squeeze. Really pull that belly in and flatten the back. Feet flat on the floor. Last one. Exhale, draw that low belly in, squeeze. You might notice if you have a tendency towards lordosis that your low back is much closer to the floor. Next, exhale, pull your knees into the chest, Apanasana, hands on the knees. Hands stay glued there, shoulders stay relaxed. We're simply inhaling, straightening the arms. Exhaling, pull that belly in, flatten the low back. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, draw it in. And then in your own time, taking your feet back, coming into Shavasana, a bolster under the knees. Socks come back on, sweaters. blankets. Getting as comfortable as possible, lying on the back, support under the knees to help the back and knees, maybe an eye pillow, maybe some weight on the abdomen. That can be soothing. You can't get cozy enough. Once you think you're as comfortable as possible, see if there's anything you can do to get 5 or 10% more comfortable. Encouraging everything in the body to let go. You can watch the body breathing without interfering. Bringing your awareness to your feet, feeling any sensations there, the toes, the arches, the tops of the feet, the heels. Relaxing a little more as we go through the body to the ankles, feeling the sensations of the shins and calves, softening. Feeling the sensations of the knees and the backs of the knees, the thighs, the entire thigh. Feeling the hips, the buttocks, the pelvic floor and the pelvic bowl. All the sensations there. Letting go a little more. Feel a heaviness with the release. Feeling the lower belly softening. Any sensations there? Coming to the lower back. softening, feeling the sensations around your waist, letting go a little more, the upper back and shoulder blades, the sensations there as they soften heavy onto the earth. Coming to the upper chest, the space around your heart, the space around the collarbone, feeling everything there and relaxing. Feeling the tops of the shoulders, any sensations down the upper arms, the sensations of the elbow and elbow creases, of the lower arms, the wrists and hands, the sensations of the throat and softening, feeling the sides of the neck and the back of the neck, releasing there into the base of the skull. Awareness of the jawline, the chin, the lips. The rows of teeth are apart. The base of the tongue is soft and on the roof of the mouth. Feeling any releasing as you become aware of the cheeks, the ears, the nose, the eyes, the eyebrows, the space between your eyebrows, the forehead, and the scalp. From the toes to the top of the head, from the heart out to the hands, feeling the sensations of the entire body together and allowing for the release and letting go, relaxing deeper and deeper. Finding your breath, slowly deepening it, feeling it move all the way down to your toes as the entire body starts to wake up, moving a finger, then a toe, and then wiggling them. Deep breath, circling wrists, circling ankles. Maybe rocking your back out with the knees into the chest before coming to one side. Taking a moment there. And then slowly making your way to a comfortable meditative posture. Reconnecting to that lengthened three-part breath that we began it with. Filling slowly the belly into the rib cage, into the upper chest, and then slowly squeezing it out. Working towards an 8 count inhale and an 8 count exhale. Practicing holding the breath in the middle by simply pausing. So taking a full inhale, relaxing as you pause the breath. Exhale fully. Relaxing without taking a breath in for a pause, and then inhaling again. Pausing relaxed at the top of the inhale, and then exhaling. Pausing, and then inhaling. Last one. Pause, exhale, pause, inhale, and let your breath return to a relaxed, natural rhythm. Hands on the lap or at heart center. Take a moment to feel gratitude and appreciation for anything that you'd like, literally anything. Just let it go on in your brain for a few moments of just appreciation. Coming into the vibration of Om 3 times. You may want to unmute yourself. Feeling that vibration in your entire body, exhaling fully, inhaling. Om.